How are you doing, guys? Zara here. So today I wanted to talk about Death Stranding. This is going to be my very first impressions video. Yes, I will be having a review of this game as well, but obviously I did not yet finish the game. Due to that, well, number one, the game is very long, and number two as well, I just want to make a little bit more of a scripted, professionally done review. For this impressions, this more it's going to be a freestyle type, and of course I'm going to be talking about what my experiences were with this game, what are the bads, the negatives, I should rephrase that, and the positives, of course, as well. Now, a lot of people will be the obvious thing, right? A lot of people saying that this is just basically you being a delivery man, bringing the packages back and forward, and looks, as people say anyway, this looks like it's ridiculous because you're literally carrying a tower on top of you and on your backpack, so you just need to bring it back and forward. So it could get it is very repetitive. And mind you, if you want to play that way, yes, it will be very repetitive. But let me give you a bit of an instruction and explanation of how I play the game. Now, if you have been tuning into my live stream, and obvious choice, what I did was basically I made my deliveries, I put down quotes, deliveries more fun. Okay, one thing's for certainty, I can give you an example of similarity to Death Stranding, the delivery that a lot of people just don't simply like. Basically, one of the things, it could be very slow. It's very painful, it's super slow. You need to manage to wait. You need to be sure that you will be able to walk around because you will be losing a lot of balance. Of course, unless, it's very heavy. And obviously, yes, you will be losing a lot of balance. And for that, there are things, for example, that you need to make sure you rebalance yourself by holding an L2 or R2, and you will be able to pull that off. It's not that hard. Now, for things at first, when you start up the game, it will be very awkward as fuck. You'll be falling all over the place, but it's pretty simple. If you want to make sure that you'll never fall, and mind you almost will never fall, it's simply forever hold L2 and R2 buttons. That's it. Then you will be good to go, and you will be able to do whatever you like. And it is really that simple. Now, obviously, if you hold L2 and R2 buttons at the same time, you will slow down because you will have more balance on you. And obviously, sometimes, occasionally, you can sprint while letting go the L2 and R2 buttons. Basically, what does the L2 and R2 does? Sam himself, he takes the package, right, and he holds on to the sleeves, the handles, I should probably rephrase that, of the luggage, right? He kind of manages to keep himself on balance. Not unbalanced, but on a balance, if that makes sense. So that's one of the things. Now, I have mentioned closer to the beginning that I'm gonna give you an example of what this game could be similar to. It is very slow, even slower than Red Dead Redemption 2. A lot of people did not like that from the Red Dead Redemption 2 because it was a slow type of game. If you do not like that, oh god, this game is not for you. Because this game is so much slower than that, maybe twice as slow, 3 times. One of the things in Red Dead Redemption I simply love doing in the single player, talking about the single player, not the online, is simply going on hunting. I see a deer, I see an animal, I take my crossbow bow and arrow, my apologies, and maybe a hunter rifle, right? I shoot that deer or whatever, let's say a deer, I shoot it, and then what you need to do, right? You get closer to the deer on your horse, you get off by pressing a button, you need to put, sometimes you're required to put back the hunter's rifle into the horse's pack, and this is already very slow to the point, but very realistic. I love that. Something about it is very satisfying. But then pulling that off as well is very satisfying when you do manage to get those kills. And as an example, right? You go up to a prey, it's on the ground, it will be dead sometimes it wouldn't, right? You have couple of options. One of them, you can just take the carcass, skin it, take the skin, walk with that skin, go up to the horse, put it across, on the horse, basically. Let it go there, that's it. And then, if you want to, you can take the carcass and you can put it behind the horse as well, if you want to. or you can just drag it along while you could be using a lasso as an example. Or you don't have to skin the deer at all as an example. Take the whole deer, put it in the back of the horse. That's it. Very simple, right? These are very, very slow processes. It's not like you go up to the deer, you press the one magic button and he automatically appears on top of your horse. No. It's similar. Death Stranding is very similar, but it's far more detailed to the point. This is why it is quite satisfying to play this game. Managing your loads, let's say, you find the things and packages around the world, right? They could be from the online lost packages and you accidentally found them, right? You need to bring them to the certain point of objective, certain point of location. You need to bring it. And sometimes you just can't do it because you could be overweight. And because they're overweight, you're going to be super slow. You will not be able to simply walk. You do have different options, right? You don't actually have to always go walk to your objective. Sometimes, not always, but sometimes, they are like bikes, they are like trucks as an example, right? If you want to know if there's a fast traveling system, yes, if you continue playing through the story of the game, you will unlock the fast traveling option as well. And of course, this is not like one of those fast travelings like you press the map button, right? And you press another button to magically appear on that location. There's always every single little thing, there's some kind of purpose to it. It's similar with Red Dead Redemption 2, right? You just don't press the menu button and you press where you want to go and you magically appear there after a loading screen. So for that, you need to find a stage horse or whatever, right? Is that the name? I believe so. It's been a while. And like a taxi in Grand Theft Auto, right? You need to literally go there. Now, there are options on that you can skip. For example, you cutting through a whole adventure that you've been going towards it. And so that is one of the options, right? Death Stranding is no different, but it's slower, right? Every package means something. Every package needs to go somewhere. You can find all this out without even taking it on board with you. And basically, if you do take a look, you will be able to bring it. The satisfying things regarding it is simply pulling it off and bringing it to the objective, putting it in the terminal, if that's the right wording anyway, and you can see all these status going up with numbers. And the sound that it makes and some kind of achievement and rewards that you gain after it. Maybe you get an ability to finally able to craft and build with a 3D printer. Yeah, 3D printer, pretty cool. Maybe like a battery charger that you can charge for your bike, so you will be able to drive it. You see, like, there's such big incentivization for you to continue playing the game because you can see an objective that you cannot personally wait to get on and try it out for yourself. Now, I'm not gonna, one thing, this game is not exactly very friendly in these terms. You do a lot of times you will have to abandon your bike or some kind of vehicle, and you will have to manage it all on your own again with the cargo, with the packages that you have in hand. Sure, it could be very tedious, it's very repetitive. I'm not gonna deny that. It's repetitive, and the game even knows it's being repetitive. This is not really spoilers, but somebody else mentions, why are you doing this? Why should you even bother? Aren't you tired of this grind? You'll know what I'm talking about if you play the game for yourself. He didn't say exactly like that, but I think you'll know what I mean by when being mentioned something like that. Well, anyway, no spoilers, of course, guys. So, after when you find this out, the game is making a little bit of fun about it, that you're pretty much a delivery man, like you're pretty much a postman, blah, 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 like, I can't believe you're doing this, why are you doing this, this is such a grind, this is so boring, why are you doing this? Like, the game incentivizes you not playing, and if you do continue playing, you will be able to, well, obviously you don't play then if you don't want to play. But yes, if you still strive towards forward and doing whatever needs to be done, you get some kind of satisfaction and achievement. It's the same thing, for example, in the Red Dead Redemption 2 in the hunting. You go up, you take the carcass, you take the dead animal, whatever, the skin, you sell it, and then you get this cash. There's your incentivization. You need to bring all this carcass as well up to the butcher, as an example, like up to him, right? It's not like magically you're pressing the button and he just gets it. It's not like you put it in your inventory, magically it will appear out of anywhere, like in, for example, Grand Theft Auto, right? The RPG. What the hell did you pick up the RPG out of your sleeve? What the fuck? You know, as an example. Or are your pocket? Doesn't really work. In this games like and such that these big developers are trying to make it more towards a realism. Yes, it's grindy. Yes, it's repetitive. I know very well about this. But something about it that just simply works and is extremely satisfying. Now, would you require to have some kind of patience? Interestingly enough, until I was thinking, okay, this is getting a little bit too tedious, maybe a little bit, I was feeling, not knowing about it at least, but I felt like, okay, maybe that's enough. But at that perfect moment, when there's a bike and I know I can use it later on, it kind of pushes me forward because I knew I was gonna get my hands on it and I'm gonna drive it. And it's gonna be so much easier with these trips. And mind you, it was a ton of fun. When I got my opportunity of driving a bike, a whole thing just like made it up for me. I personally loved it. And you see these little things like that. This gives an excellent objective for you to continue playing through the game. Now, this in the lamest term is just a more like a delivery man. Yes, it is in the lamest term. But how far of the intricate designs that it tries to implement in here and that you require to pull it off to study it is quite insane. And it makes so much more rewarding and satisfying of pulling it through. I wanted to also mention a few of the bad things because obviously not everything is, sweets and cakes, whatever, right? Few bad things. Number one, I don't know if this is a bad thing, is the fighting, the combat. Fighting, I didn't really get a proper chance of actually facing all of the enemies due to that, because, well, obviously I don't know fully through this game. The other thing is the menu. Menu could be a little bit troublesome to understand. It's a little bit like a clusterfuck. Yeah, that could be a little bit awkward to understand at first, perhaps. Well, when you do try to learn every little bit of things that it is there, it's pretty nice. And thirdly, yeah, maybe the movement, but it has a similarities to Red Dead Redemption that it feels like you're extremely slow, so I can't really say maybe that's a bad thing, but it is the movement, especially when you're facing these, the fightings and the boss battles. And yeah, boss battles, so far, because I faced, I faced 3 or 2 was it, of these bosses anyway. I'm not gonna mention BTs anyway, but yeah, they're disappointing. I'll be honest, they're not very good at all. So I don't advise you like buying this game for fighting. This game is not about fighting. This game is about exploring, delivering, doing an objective, and a fantastic storytelling. And mind you, the epilogue I thought was really, really good. Not excellent, but very good. And how it starts the game up. And yes, it's slow. You will probably get your grinds going because like maybe you would not like it. Maybe you will, who knows. But it has a lot of similarities to a Metal Gear Solid 5. If you like that game, you can expect some little things in it. But this game takes a step further. Now, here's the thing as well, because you might have read by the title of this video, I have mentioned, is Konami a necessary evil to keep Hideo Kojima in check. One thing's for sure, right? We already knew Hideo Kojima is, he's crazy in his mind, right? Not too many people know of him and how his method of thinking goes in his brain, right? So we never knew what kind of game he will actually turn out to be developing or making, right? So there it is, Death Stranding. Marketing this game and explaining what it is just simply not going to be very good first impressions. But if you get a chance, give it a chance and try to play it, you may actually kind of like it. Who knows? If you're all about the fighting, obliterating people, all about the bullet penetrations, seeing holes in the enemies, everything makes sense of why you don't kill these enemies or, that sort of thing, right? Seriously. Everything, almost, maybe I shouldn't say everything, but almost everything makes sense. Oh my god, I have to mention this bad thing. I'm extremely disappointed what Hideo Kojima did. Extremely disappointed about this. So basically, throughout the 3 years, he's been revealing few of these cutscenes, and we were always questioning what the fuck is going on. That's the biggest part of the problem. He spoiled a lot. Fucking yes. Like, I mean, I was so disappointed to find that out because, like, there's so many things that's been spoiled. Like, everything in the beginning of the game that it starts, you already would have seen from the trailers. And maybe not too much of trailers, but those very long cutscenes, more or less, right? Like naked Redis as an example, those little things like that. That sucks really. But anyway, don't worry guys, they don't make sense on their own, but if you play the game and yeah, it kind of makes sense how he ends up being on that certain situation, on that certain part of the area and stuff. Yeah, everything kind of comes in closer together, makes sense. I do expect this game, when it does wrap up, to fill in the plot holes personally for me, so I would understand what the hell's going on and what I'm trying to achieve here. And yes, I already do know what we're trying to achieve, because a couple of you guys already might know as well, like reconnecting America, basically getting back, everyone getting together again, so there's a lot of incentivizations on that part, but some of you guys may not give a crap about it, obviously. So yes, back on my last topic, I kind of touched on a little bit about Konami and Hideo Kojima. After that, I'm going to be wrapping up the video. It's been long enough already. So yes, is Konami a necessary evil to keep Hideo Kojima in check? In some cases yes, in some cases no. Personally, I don't think so. I think Konami is not necessary at all in this situation. I think that Hideo Kojima, what he made here, it's a very good game that people will not understand from the outside point of view. That's really it. That's really all to it. Probably should mention before I go, guys. Okay, I'm not a fan of Metal Gear Solid games. Okay. I barely played them. I never played Metal Gear Solid, maybe a little bit Metal Gear Solid 1 when I was like, I think that was my very, very first game, but I have not many memories of it. I never played Metal Gear 2, 3, 4. I did finish the 5th one because it was for free on the PlayStation Plus. So you can see it, right? I'm not much of a fan of these Metal Gear Solid games. I really am not. And Hideo Kojima, personally to me, I never knew him until the Death Stranding made an appearance. And that's why I gave it a chance, because it's exclusive on PlayStation, even though it's not anymore. You know, it will be coming out on PC in 2020 summer. You know, Hideo Kojima to me, he's a very visionary, perhaps, a developer that is crazy in some cases. So it's not like I'm gonna say I'm a big fan of Hideo Kojima, I would suck his dick for no reasons at all. Like, I'm not saying that, okay? What I'm saying is just that I like this game, words tries to be, and I see it, if that makes sense, okay? Hopefully that makes sense. Actually, I would definitely understand why this game is getting these very high praiseworthiness, like say 8 or 9 or 10 out of 10. And no, I do not agree. This game, so far that I've played, does not deserve a 7 out of 10. Seriously, I give it that high. I'm actually very serious. That is so far that I've played. Oh, should mention. Wow, I keep forgetting my bullet points. My apologies about this, guys. I played up to 8 hours, almost 8 hours, somewhere in that range anyway. Oh god, maybe more actually. Sorry, 10 hours. Yeah, now I'm thinking about it, was 10 hours. Yeah, almost to 10 hours. I've played this game, and my first impressions are here with you all now. Alright, well then, thank you so much for watching, like and subscribe. Tell me down in the comments, did you get a chance of playing this game, and are you still playing it? Did you abandon it? You're not gonna bother with it? Do you consider getting it now, perhaps, maybe after hearing me out? And yeah, well then, I'm gonna let you go now. Thank you so much for watching again. Like and subscribe, and have a good one.